Well, things aren't looking good for humanity after Singapore officially releases its annual birth and death reports for 2023. I have bad news for you, and we're unpacking it here on Beyond the Headlines, only on Vigilant News. This segment is sponsored by Goldco, providing a real pathway to protect your money with real gold and silver. Visit vnngold.com today. I'm Elijah Schaefer. Let's start the show. Well, we know that the birth rates and the death rates don't seem to correlate into anything productive for most of the world. Now, new honest birth rates out of Southeast Asia just show how bad the post-vaccination birth rate really is. Let's get into this. Aussie 17 reports that the official release of the annual birth and death report from Singapore has been released. Post-vax deaths continues to erupt and stunning declining births. Singapore recently released its annual birth and death statistics, and let me tell you, it's not looking good. The damning chart appears on page 1 of the annual statistics report, showing that the natural increase decreased from single digits when the pandemic hit and accelerated when the population started taking the vaccination, reaching double digits at 13% and a staggering 39.4% after the boosters. You can see it changing and shifting. It's not looking good. As I was curious of further historical data, I pulled the numbers from 2014 to 2018. There was not a single year in the last 10 years where the natural increase dropped by double digits. In 2015, there was a natural increase of 2.4%. In 2016, there was a natural increase of 0.8%. And in 2017, there was a natural increase and decrease of negative 6.5%. In 2018, there was a natural increase and decrease of negative 5.1%. And you can see the decline there. So one should be stunned when the natural increase shot up to negative 13% in 2021. This is 2 years after the pandemic started and the first year of vaccination. In 2022, the natural increase shot up by negative 39.4, dropping from 14,380 to 8,714. Now, if you contrast this information to the number of official COVID deaths in Singapore, you can clearly see that the intervention is much worse than the so-called pandemic. In 2020, this is the data, you need to pay attention to this. Singapore recorded a total of 29 COVID deaths by the end of 2020. The cumulative death toll rose to 828 by the end of 2021. 2022, the total number was 1,727. And by 2023, it had increased to 2,024. Yes, the total cumulative COVID deaths in Singapore is 2,024, but somehow the population's natural increase is decreasing and continues to drop by orders of magnitude more than the total COVID deaths so far. During the peak of excess deaths in Q2 of 2022, Singapore ranked number 1 in the world in terms of excess deaths. Subsequently, Singapore was suspiciously removed from the Mortality watch database, which, did someone make the phone call? Maybe. You have the quarterly excess mortality, and you can see here, it's absolutely skyrocketing. Plus 37%. More things that make you go, Well, Singaporeans are looking for answers regarding excess deaths. Just 2 days ago, 2 citizens aged 72 and 69 were found dead in their homes on the same day. I mean, there's always people dying at home, but 2 on the same day? 2 bodies in 1 day. Here it is, posted by Lim Kiwei. Seniors who lived alone found dead in Bukit Batok and Eng Mau Kiau. This isn't the first time 2 bodies were found on the same day. In 2023, a similar incident occurred with individuals aged 62 and 70. Now, one of the main reasons why it's easy to use Singapore, because as being an isolated island with strict immigration and a very small and sustainable population, it's really quick that we can deduce and understand data points and see how they work. Plus, considering they have somewhat of a police state fascistic government, you know, they do track data quite well. Not that I'm even opposed to it, because part of the reason we can't have nice things in our country is because we don't do the things that happen in Singapore to maintain the world. Now, if you start digging into coincidences, you'll find more stories. For example, 2 brothers died a day apart just 2 months ago, aged 72 and 77, also in 2024. The common denominator seems to be these coincidental deaths occurring after approximately 80% of the population received the mRNA vaccine boosters. However, we can't definitely attribute this to the vaccines with forensic autopsies, right? Talk about forensic autopsies, more things that make you go, The amendment of the Coroner's Act. According to Singapore's law, under the death for which inquiry must be held, point number 2 states that any death in Singapore that occurred directly or indirectly as a result of a medical treatment or care. However, for some reason, the specific law was removed in May of 2023. This is particularly strange at a time when everyone wants to understand if the experimental vaccine contributed to excess deaths. You can see here that it was deleted. At this point, I can only express myself with lots of emojis. At least I'm not the only one. Speaking of live births and the problem that continues there, I want you to watch a video about this. It's absolutely insane, but reminding you that these people have been lying to you not only about our experimental vaccines, but also about the economy. And many of you know they lie and they fix the stock market. And no matter how hard you try to save, you find that your money's losing its value, and there's really nothing that you can do to keep your money in your account with the same value that you put it in. Well, that's why so many Americans are trusting Goldco, the #1 precious metals dealer in America that is helping American patriots guarantee that their life savings, retirement, whatever it is you've got is put into precious metals, real gold and silver. This is so important. They don't want your hard-earned money to go down the drain and get beat up in this massive inflation scandal that's going on in our country. Right now, Goldco is offering a free gold and silver kit on qualified purchases. They're going to give you up to a 10% instant match on bonus silver. Visit vnngold.com today, vnngold.com, to find out how you can diversify and protect your savings from an inept government with physical gold and silver and get a return on your money. This offer will only last until all the bonus silver is gone, so act now at vnngold.com. That's vnngold.com. Make sure you check it out. Links in the description. Now, as I'd like to say, it is quite interesting preliminarily that this has been an issue with birth rates as well. Listen.
Now that people are getting the documents from the trials, there were bad outcomes, and the miscarriage rate was 80% in the Pfizer trials. They knew that.
Dr. Kimberly Biss is a board-certified obstetrician and gynecologist. She's grown her Florida private practice to a 5-provider group that delivers roughly 300 babies a year. Once the COVID-19 genetic vaccines rolled out in 2021, she observed some disturbing trends in her patients.
I noticed that my miscarriage rate from year to year had gone up by 100%.
She began tracking and comparing her data in real time and made waves when she published her findings on Dr. Jessica Rose's Substack in 2022.
A lot of medical schools, over 50 to 60% of their money probably comes from big pharma.
This is American Thought Leaders, and I'm Yanya Kellick.
Wow. It's absolutely criminal what they've done. If you want to read more of that story, you got to go into the details, because I just moved here from Australia here back to the United States, and I can tell you the stillbirths, the miscarriages, it's alarming. It's linked to probably the vaccines, but of course we'll never know because they keep hiding the data. If you want more videos like this, don't forget to subscribe to our newsletter. We're at vigilantnews.com. You can also subscribe to our X and our Rumble accounts at Vigilant News. Also, make sure that you drop a comment, a like, and follow us wherever you can. I'm Elijah Schaefer. Thank you for watching Beyond the Headlines, only on Vigilant News. Have a great rest of the week, and may God bless the United States of America. I'm signing out.